Welcome to MMV's celebration of its 25th anniversary and the launch of our strategy for the next 6 years, which coincides with the last 6 years of the Sustainable Development Goals. Bonsoir et bienvenue à le symposium de MMV qui célèbre notre 25e anniversaire et aussi le lancement de notre stratégie pour les prochains 6 ans qui est coïncident aussi avec la fin des ODD. Moraho, Murakaranese. Nikwa Andrea Luquart. Try to be trilingual when you're only bilingual. Nikwa Andrea Luquart, and I am the Chief of Strategy at Medicines for Malaria Venture, and we're delighted to have you here for our symposium. Over the last 13 years, I've served MMV in various capacities. And if you count ages as you might, the age of a child who was born on a leap year, I am 3 MIMs old. I am Durban, Dakar, Kigali. During those 13 years, I've had the privilege to watch this organization serve its purpose to discover, develop, and deliver new anti-malarials. And during this session, we're going to bring forward our strategy to you as coming forward. But first, I'd like to describe for you how it is that we decided to launch our strategy here at MIM. So as we were thinking in 2023 about what it was that we wanted to do for our strategy and for our anniversary, it was clear from our colleagues, there was a clear consensus that it should be done here with you, our partners at MIM in Kigali. So what we've done here is rather than deciding on having a really large party, we've decided to dig in and to be part as much as we can of this community, to provide financial and technical support to the degree that we can to the organizers, because this is a very important place for us to be. And so you will see us here, not just supporting. Someone said earlier today that you couldn't sit down at a session at MIM without sitting next to somebody who was from MMV. And it's done intentionally because we really do believe that this is an important place for us to launch our strategy, not just really here right now at this session, but also symbolically. I'd very much like to thank the local organizing committee for allowing us to be part of this, and for the government of Rwanda for inviting us. Murakoze. So, for those of you who are not familiar with MMV, I'll describe us very briefly. We are a not-for-profit Swiss foundation that was formed in 1999, and it was birthed out of great urgency. And it was the urgency of the vast antimicrobial resistance that was gripping the world at the end of the 20th century. And that antimicrobial resistance was anti-malarial resistance. The pipeline was almost empty, and the drugs were failing. And so we were birthed out of tropical disease research, which this year is celebrating its 50th anniversary. And we're very proud that our spin-off is one of their many accomplishments. The design of the organization was to be the hub, the connector, the weaver, the accelerator for the discovery, development, and delivery of anti-malarials. It was designed for us to bring together the scientific, medical, financial, industrial might of the global malaria community, of global research, toward this very thorny problem of how do we replenish the anti-malarial pipeline in the face of vast resistance. You'll hear more about that now in our session as we come forward, how we're planning on approaching that in the next 6 years. And to help us do that, I'd like to first introduce 2 distinguished guests. First, I'll introduce one, and then she'll come, and then introduce the other. So I'd first like to introduce Madame Joy Pumafi. If you've been to any sessions in this conference, you've likely heard Joy introduced. You may have heard her introduced as the young health minister in Botswana at the height of the HIV crisis, when at a mere 30 years of age, she went to the United States and refused initially by a major donor to bring ARVs to her country, went and found other partnerships to make sure that the citizens of her country had access to the same medicines that citizens in the North had. Or you may have heard her introduced as the head of ALMA, which is an organization which now comprises 55 African heads of state, focused not only on malaria, but also on maternal, child health, contraception, and NTDs. But I'd like to introduce Joy as an MMV board member. And I've had the privilege and the pleasure of working for and with Joy over the last 13 years. She serves as an inspiration for us at MMV, not just for me. I can tell you that we've put together recently an inspiration board at MMV, and Joy is named on it multiple times. And she serves as an inspiration for us because she has retained the fire and the fearsomeness of her activist self, combined with the diplomacy and coolness of somebody who can reach the highest levels of government. She continues to serve her legacy in this by bringing up the next generation of activists and diplomats. So Joy, I'd like to ask you to come up to the stage with wearing whatever hat you would like. Activist, entrepreneur, mother, grandmother, diplomat, and certainly MMV trustee.